Hi guys, welcome to my first video of 2025. If you are new here, I'm called Dee, and in today's video I'll be showing you how we made that hoodie sweater there that you have seen on the thumbnail. And here are the materials that we're going to be using. You will need a tape measure. You're going to need a 5.50 millimeter hook. You need some stitch markers. You will need a darning needle to weave in your ends. You will need some pair of scissors to cut the strands. And for the yarn, you're going to need the fire yarn. I only used one ball of this, but I'll put it closer for you guys to see the details. Here you go. You can get the details from there. And this is the color. And then another yarn that I used is this Big Twist 100% acrylic yarn. It's in color mustard. I also used Super Saver yarn. And the reason why I don't have the ball of yarn in front of me is because I unraveled an old project that I made like 2 years back. I'll place it on the screen for you guys to see, but I unraveled that and made something new with the yarn. So this is the sweater that we are making. Okay, so as you can see, it has a back panel, it has a front, it has a pocket here in front, and then we have the sleeves here, and we have the hoodie part. Okay, so we're going to start with the back panel, and then after that we're going to make the front, but then we're going to stop somewhere so we can make this shoulder parts. Okay, we're going to make this part separately. We do this and this, and then after that we do the hoodie, and then we attach the sleeves, and we should be done. Of course, we'll have to add this pocket as well. Okay, so keep watching and let's dive into the tutorial. We're starting off with the slip knot. So you're going to grab your yarn and you're going to wrap it like so around your fingers, and then you're going to pull through the short tail of the yarn. And after that, you're going to pull the longer yarn and make sure that it slips around the yarn, like it moves, okay? And once you're done with that, you're going to yarn over and make your first chain. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through, and you're going to keep going like that until you have your desired length. And this chain should be long enough to go from your one shoulder to the other, okay? So once you make the chain, place it from your one shoulder to the other and see if that's okay with you, okay? So once you're done with that, we're going to make our first row. I made 80 chains. So yours might be longer or shorter depending on the size that you're making. I'm going to add 2 more chains which will work as my turning chain, and then I'm going to skip those 2 chains and make a half double crochet in the 3rd chain. I'll be working in the back loops, okay? So skip those 2 chains, and in the back loop of the next stitch you're going to make a half double crochet, okay? So here you have 3 loops, and then you pull through all. Yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all. Yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops, pull through all. And that's what you're going to repeat until you get to the end of the chain. I'm working towards the end of my first row and I have 3 stitches left. This here is my last one. I'm placing there a half double crochet, and that marks the end of our first row. Row 2, you're going to chain 2 and turn your work. You're going to yarn over, and in the back loop of that first stitch, you're going to insert your hook. Okay, here we have 2, so you're going to go through the back loop. Okay, pull up a loop, you have 3 loops on your hook, and pull through all. Insert your hook in the back loop of the next stitch and make a half double crochet. And you're going to repeat this pattern, making 1 half double crochet in the back loop of every stitch until you get to the end of the row. I have 2 stitches left to complete my second row. Once you have 1 stitch left, you're going to go through both loops. Okay, instead of going through the back loop, you're going to insert your hook through both loops and pull up a loop and make the half double crochet, and that's how you complete the row. Once you get to the end of the row, remember to chain 1 and then get your scissors, and we're going to cut off the yarn if you're changing colors. If you're not going to change your colors, then you can chain 2 and then continue with the pattern of making 1 half double crochet in every back loop except for the last stitch. Okay, so for my case, I'm changing colors, and I'm now changing to the mustard color, and I'm making a slip knot. And then from where I left off, I'm going to insert my hook, and then attach the new color like so. Chain 1, and then in that same space, you're going to make a half double crochet. Yarn over, and in the back loop of the next stitch, make a half double crochet. Yarn over, make a half double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch, and you're going to keep going, making 1 half double crochet in the back loop of every stitch until you have 1 left at the end. I'm working towards the end of my third row. Again, once you have 1 stitch left, you're going to go through both stitches and make a half double crochet. Just like that. Chain 2 and turn your work, and then you're going to repeat row 2 and 3. Okay, after row 4, I'm going to change colors again. Again, you don't have to change colors if you don't want to, but I'll be changing colors after every 2 rows of each color, and I'll keep going like that until I have my desired length. So go ahead and do the same. No increases, no decreases anywhere. Just repeat row 2 and 3 until you have your desired length, and I'll be back once I'm done with mine. One more thing, remember to weave in your tails as you go, or you can crochet and weave them in later, whatever works for you. So let me meet you back here once I'm done with my panel. I'm done with my back panel, and as you can see, I have a lot of tails to weave in, and I'm just gonna try and weave these in, and then I'll be back here shortly. Obviously, guys, I ended up just tying and cutting my strands. I couldn't weave every strand in, but here I'm showing you how wide it is, and it's 20 inches wide, and the length is also 20 inches. So if you want it longer than this, just go ahead and add more rows. Okay, this is how long I'm going to make mine, and after this you're just going to repeat the same process and start the front panel. But with the front panel, we're not going to complete it. We're going to make 46 rows, Okay, we're going to make 46 rows, and then we're going to mark where the neckline is going to start from, and from that we're going to work on each side of the shoulder separately. Okay, yeah, that's what we're going to do next. For the front, I have made 46 rows, and as you can remember, for the back we have 53 rows. Okay, so we now have seven rows left to complete the front panel, so they can both be on the same level. So from here, as you can see, I have placed my stitch markers here because we need the neckline. So this is going to be the shoulder part on both sides, and on both sides I have 27 stitches on this side, and I have 27 stitches on this shoulder part as well. So we're not going to work from the beginning to the next stitch marker, and then we chain 2, turn our work, and just repeat the same pattern, but we're going to be making it short from this stitch marker to the end. And once we're done with that, we cut off the yarn, reattach it on this other side, and then we do the same exact thing. Okay, so from here I'm supposed to turn my work. I'm turning my work, and I'm going to start from this red stitch marker and get to the end. And as you can see from here, I'm supposed to be using this yellow. Make a slip knot. From where we have the stitch marker, we're going to insert our hook, chain 1 to secure it, chain 1, and then in that same space we're going to make our first half double crochet. After that, we're going to make 1 half double crochet in the back loop of every stitch, just like how we've been doing. And as you can see, I'm working over the strand. All right, I'm gonna keep going until I get to the end. And it's very simple. Once you get to the end, make your last half double crochet, chain 2, turn your work, and repeat the pattern just like how we've been doing. So after this row, I'm going to cut the yarn, and then I'll go ahead and reattach. Then I'll go ahead and attach the other color, and then keep going until I have made 7 more rows. All right, so after making my 7 rows here, I'm going to repeat the same thing on this other side. Just keep in mind that you have to turn your work. So this time I'm going to start from here and get to the stitch marker, and then repeat the same process we did here. Make 7 rows, and then I'll be back. I'm back, and this is what I have. I'm done with the 7 rows for the shoulders on both sides, as you can see, and we are done with the front panel as well. So from the shoulder part, from the top of the shoulders all the way down to the end, now I have the same number of stitches I had for the back panel. Okay, so this is what you should be having, and we're now going to put this aside and work on the sleeves. With the sleeves, you're going to do the same thing that we did with these panels. Okay, for my case, I chained 60 and then made the half double crochets back and forth, and as you can see with the sleeves, I didn't change colors, so that was good for me. I didn't have to weave in any ends. I made 30 rows for the sleeves, and 30 rows were enough for me. If you need it to be baggy, add more rows. And here I'm showing you guys the length. This is how long my chain was, and that is 15 inches. And then for the width, it's 12.5 inches. So if you want it baggy, you just have to make more rows. Okay. All right, now we're going to work on the ribbing, and you actually have to keep in mind that we have a ribbing for the sleeves, and just like how this one of the sleeve look like, this is what we are going to repeat on the other side of the sleeve. Okay, we're just going to do the sleeve, the ribbing, which is the front and back post double crochet. To start the ribbing, we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then we're going to work in this last stitch we have here. So yarn over, insert your hook in that last stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, you'll have 2 loops left on your hook, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Okay, we're going to do that again, yarn over, and in this next row, it's more of a side row. You're placing there a double crochet, yarn over, and in the next side row, insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. And you're going to repeat that in the same stitch, making 2 double crochets in the same space. In the next side row, you're going to make 1 double crochet, make 1 double crochet in the next side row, and in the next side row you're going to place there 2 double crochets. Okay, all in the same space, yarn over, make 1 double crochet in the next side row, and in the next, and then in the next we're going to make 2 double crochets. So you're simply alternating between 1 double crochet in the next 2 side rows and then 2 double crochets all in the same side row. I hope that makes sense. So I'll keep going like this until I get to the end. Once you make it to the end, we have 1 row left and we're going to place there 2 double crochets. So the last one is going to go right in that first stitch that we have for this side of the sleeve. And after that, this is how your work should look like. We're now going to head over to our second row. You're going to chain 3, which is going to count as our first double crochet. Turn your work. We're starting by making a front post double crochet, so insert your hook under that next stitch or second stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That is a front post double crochet. Next we make a back post double crochet. We insert our hook from the back, then to the front, and push back that next stitch, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Next we make a front post double crochet, and we're going to keep on alternating between a back post double crochet and a front post double crochet. I'm going to keep going like this until I get to the end. All right, I made it to the end. And once you get to the end, you are going to place 1 double crochet on top of that last stitch. Just like that. That is how you complete the row. Now we're going to repeat that second row that we just did. So chain 3, turn your work, and then you're going to start with a front post double crochet, and then make a back post double crochet. Make a front post, then make a back post double crochet, and you're going to keep on repeating this until you get to the end. All right, I'm now working on my last stitch, Again, once you get to the end, you're going to end with just a normal double crochet on top of that last chain from the previous row. Chain 3, and you're going to repeat row 2 and 3, and you're going to keep on repeating that until you get the length of the ribbing that you want. Okay, so I'm going to keep going and I'll be back once I'm done. And again, I'll be changing colors somewhere in the middle of this. So yeah, let's keep going. I have made a total of 9 rows here, and we are now going to make the last row, which is going to be a little different, and it's going to be a row of single crochet. So insert your hook in that first stitch, make a single crochet, and single crochet in every stitch until you get to the end of the row. Once you make your last single crochet, you're going to chain 1 or 2, get your scissors and cut off the yarn. Pull tight, and you're going to go ahead and make your second sleeve, and you'll have 2 identical sleeves completed as well, and this is what you should be having. Okay, we're now going to put these aside and head over to the first 2 panels that we made so we can join the shoulders and do the rest. Alright, here I have my 2 panels. Make sure that you have the right sides facing each other, because we need to join the shoulder part, and we need the seam to be on the wrong side of the sweater. Okay, so this is the wrong side that is facing us, and we're now going to join the shoulders together. So get your yarn and make a slip knot. And then we're going to start joining, going through both sides at the same time. I'm going to use the single crochet method, but you can use any method that is easier for you to use, guys. So I'm going to chain 1, and in that same space I'll go back with a single crochet in the next stitch, making sure you go through both sides. And I'm going to keep making single crochets until I join this whole shoulder part together. This is my last stitch, and I'm going through both sides, making my last single crochet. And then I like to go back in that same stitch and make a slip stitch. Like so. Chain 1, get the scissors and cut off the yarn. Then pull that tight, and this is what you should have. This is how your work should look. Now we're going to repeat this same thing on the other side of the shoulder. Okay, so we're going to start from the other side of the shoulder so that we can still have the yarn to work around the neckline. Insert your hook in the first stitch for both sides. Get your yarn and make a slip knot. Attach the yarn. This was a little bit tight, but here we go. Chain 1 to secure that, and then chain 1 again. Then in that same space, you're going to insert your hook through both sides and make a single crochet. This first stitch was really tight. Okay, but I got it. Now we're going to continue making 1 single crochet in every stitch, going through both sides until we make it to the end. So let me meet you guys back at the end. After joining both shoulders, you're going to turn your work right side out. So this is the right side that is facing us right now, and we're now going to work on the neckline. So from where you left off, you don't have to cut the yarn off because we're just going to work around like that. So in this first side row, I'm going to insert my hook and make a single crochet, just like that. Single crochet in the next side row, single crochet in the next side row, and you're going to keep going like that, making 1 single crochet in every side row. Alright, and once you get to this bottom part, you don't have to work in the side rows because we have the actual stitches. So you insert your hook in the next stitch. I'll take this out. Insert your hook in that first stitch and make a single crochet. And you're going to keep making 1 single crochet all the way around the neckline. Just like that. When you get to the end of the round, you're going to make that last stitch, and then you're going to slip stitch on top of the first single crochet that you have. So slip stitch, chain 1, get your scissors and cut off the yarn, and then pull that strand tight. And this is what you should have. We're now moving on to making the hoodie, and before we do that, we need to place stitch markers on this bottom part of the neckline. So the reason why we have these stitch markers is because we want the hoodie to be kind of a crisscross here in front. So that's why we have this, so we know where the other side is going to end from. So we're now going to start from the blue stitch marker, and we're going to insert our hook in the back loop only, okay, rather in the front loop. This is the front loop. We're inserting our hook in the front loop only, and then we are going to attach our yarn, okay, then yarn over, and in that same back loop we're going to make a half double crochet, okay, half double crochet in the back. I don't know why I keep saying the back loop. Yarn over and half double crochet in the front loop of the next stitch, yarn over, half double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch, yarn over, half double crochet in the front loop of the next stitch, and we're going to keep going like this. All right, once you make it to where we have our second stitch marker, you're going to make your last stitch of the front, okay, and after that we're going to be making 1 half double crochet in the back loop, okay. We're no longer making the half double crochet in the front loops. So insert your hook in the back loop of the next stitch and make a half double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch, and keep going until you get back to where we have this other stitch marker. When you make it back to where we started from, where we have the blue stitch marker, we're now going to work in the back loops that we left behind earlier. So I'm taking the stitch marker out, then yarn over, and in the back loop of that next stitch, make a half double crochet. Half double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch, and repeat until you get to the last stitch marker. We have made it to our second stitch marker right here. So now what we're going to do is chain 2, and then we're going to turn our work, okay? So at this point, this is what you should be having. It may not make sense right now, but as we go, it will make sense to you guys. So chain 2, turn your work, yarn over, and in the back loop of that first stitch, you're going to make a half double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch, and you're going to continue making one half double crochet in the back loop of every stitch until you get to this point here. Okay, so basically you're working all the way around. Right, I'll meet you guys back here at the end. All right, I made it to the end, and this is what I have, and your work should also be looking like this. And we are basically working back and forth, like no increase, no decrease. You just keep going until you get the desired length for your hoodie. If you want it baggy on your head, that's all right. Add more rows, but I'm going to go ahead and continue making one half double crochet in every back loop, back and forth, until I have my desired length, and then I'll be back to show you guys how many rows I ended up making. I'm back, guys, and I have a total of 33 rows made for the hoodie, and this is how it looks like. It's 14.5 inches long, okay, and the width, and it's also 18 inches wide. So the next thing we're going to do is join this top part, but we have to do it from the wrong side of the sweater. So this is my wrong side here. You're going to get your yarn and make a slip knot. Then we're going to attach it on the very first stitch, going through both sides and attach the yarn, chain 1, chain 1 again, and in that same space go back with a single crochet in the next stitch for both sides, and you're going to continue making single crochets until you get to the end. All right, I have 3 stitches left here. This is my last one, and I'm placing there a single crochet. In that same last stitch, go back with a slip stitch, chain 1, get your scissors and cut the yarn. Okay, and then pull tight, and this is what you should have. And now the hoodie is done. We're now going to do the edging part with our fire yarn, and then we shall move on to the next step. So this is the fire yarn that I'll be using, but you can use any color that you like. So you're going to make a slip knot with the fire yarn. Then you're going to insert your hook in one of the side rows. Chain 1 to secure it. Chain 2, that's 1 and 2. And then in that same space, make a single crochet in the next side row, single crochet in the next side row, and you're going to keep going, making 1 single crochet in every side row all the way around the hood part of the sweater. All right, I'm working towards the end here. I have just 3 stitches left. Once you make it to the last one, you're going to insert your hook and still make a single crochet, and then go back in that same stitch with a slip stitch. Chain 1, get your scissors and cut. I always like to leave a long tail, though I think I overdid it on this one, but yeah. Now I'm going to weave this in real quick, just going back and forth, making sure that it's secured, and then cut the excess. And voila, we are done with the hood part of our sweater. This is how it should look. Next, we're going to work on the front pocket. I'm going to put this aside, get my yarn, make a slip knot, then I'm going to insert my hook and make a chain of 40. So the longer the chain, the wider the pocket is going to be. Once you're done making the chain, we're going to work our first row of half double crochet across the chain. But before that, we're going to add 2 more chains. And after that, I'm going to turn my chain and work in the back bumps. And in the 3rd chain from the hook, I'm going to make my first half double crochet, yarn over and make a half double crochet in the next chain, yarn over, half double crochet in the next chain, and I'm going to keep going, making 1 half double crochet in every chain until I get to the end. And at the end of this first row, you should have the same number of stitches that you chained. Okay, so if you chained, let's say 30, you should have 30 stitches at the end of this row. So I chained 40, and I'm going to end up with only 40 double crochets. So this is my last stitch. Moving on to row 2, you're going to chain 2 and turn your work. And in the back loop of that first stitch, you're going to make a half double crochet, half double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch, half double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch, and you're going to repeat until you get to the end. I have two stitches left here, and I'm going to make my last half double crochet. When you get to the end, you work through both loops like so, make a half double crochet. That's the end of row 2. Row 3, we're going to repeat row 2. So chain 2, turn your work, skip those 2 chains, and in that first stitch, in the back loop of that first stitch, you're going to make a half double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch, and you're going to repeat that, making 1 half double crochet in every back loop until you get to the end. All right, you're going to repeat that until you have a total of 10 rows. All right, here I have my 10 rows completed. We're now going to decrease. And at this point, I have a total of 5 inches. And it's also 10.5 inches wide, as you can see. Now we're going to decrease to make this part smaller. You're going to chain 2 and turn your work just like before. Yarn over, and in the first stitch, you're going to insert your hook and pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, like so, pull up a loop. You will have 5 loops on your hook, then you're going to yarn over and pull through all. And that's how we decrease. After that, you're going to make 1 half double crochet in every back loop until you have 2 stitches left at the end. All right, once you make it to the end and you have 2 stitches left, you're going to insert your hook in that loop, in the back loop of that first stitch. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, insert your hook in the last stitch. You'll have 5 loops on your hook this time, and then you're going to pull through all. Okay, chain 2 and turn your work, and then you're going to repeat that row that we just completed. So in the back loop of that first stitch, we're going to insert a hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert a hook in the next, pull up a loop, and then pull through all. And after that, we make one half double crochet in every back loop until we have 2 stitches left at the end. Once you make it to the end, you're going to decrease again. Remember, in the last stitch, we go through both stitches, rather both loops. Chain 2, turn your work, and repeat. So going to repeat, we're going to continue decreasing for the next 10 rows, and then I'll be back once I'm done. And this is how my work looks after the 10 rows of decrease. So your work should be looking the same. The next thing we're going to do is place it on top of our front panel. Okay. You're going to align it very well. If you have to, you'll have to count the stitches that you have on both sides for that first row, so you can know that it is well aligned, okay? So you can count how many stitches you have on each side to make sure that your pocket is very well aligned. And after that, you're going to get a stitch marker and stitch the pocket on the sweater so that it does not move as we join it together. All right, I have placed stitch markers on most corners for the pocket, and we are now going to attach it. And again, we're using the far yarn, but if you don't have this yarn, you can use the normal yarn to do this. To attach the pockets on the front panel, we're going to take out the stitch marker. You can do this wherever you want to start joining from. It really doesn't matter. So you're going to insert your hook in the first row of the pocket and in the row below it, or the row below that stitch that we have attached the yarn to. Then you're going to chain one, right? And in that same stitch, you're going to insert your hook and make a single crochet. Next, we're going in the next side row, and then insert your hook below that stitch. Okay, and this is the stitch that's on the sweater or the front panel. Insert your hook under it and make a single crochet. This here was a little bit tight, but I finally got it. But that is what we're going to keep doing until we get to the next stitch marker. We're going to join here from the first row until we get to the stitch marker, and that's going to be 11 rows. So you're basically going through every side row with only one single crochet. And that's what we're going to repeat. Just do your best to keep the line straight. It really doesn't matter which stitch, just make sure that you keep it as straight as possible. Once you make it to the stitch marker, you're going to take it out. Then we're going to make a single crochet. So after that, we are going to be working on the pocket only. We won't be going under the front panel, okay? We're going to be working on the pocket because we need that part open, so we don't need to attach that part to the front panel or to the just that part where your hands goes through. So I'm going to show you here. This part, we need it open right here. So we're just going to go through the top part only. Okay, just go through each side row with a single crochet. Just like that. Once you get to the top, you're going to remove the stitch marker and stitch across. Just again, do your best to keep everything straight. Okay, so for this side, I'm still going under the stitch of the front panel, like so. Right under the stitch, like so, and single crochet. Insert your hook in the next stitch and go under the stitch that's above and single crochet. And you're going to repeat that for this top part as well. So I'll just have to keep going, making sure that it is very well aligned with um that row that's above. And just pick up a stitch, and it's easy as that. Especially if you're using this far yarn, like nobody's gonna know. Like no one is gonna know that you skipped a stitch or something like that. So just keep it going and make sure that everything is very well stitched and neat. I made it to this next stitch marker, and again going to take it out, insert my hook in the side row and under the stitch of the front panel, and make a single crochet, and now we're going to stitch just like we did before, going through the side rows, but leaving this space open for the hand or for your fingers. And once you get to the next stitch marker, you take it out and you place there a single crochet as well. And this is where we start joining everything together again. So make sure you go under the stitch and single crochet, just like we did before. And that's what you're going to repeat, the same exact thing we did on this side. You're going to do on the other side and stitch it together. So I'll be back once I'm done so we can move on to the next step. Once you make it to the end, you're going to insert your hook in the last stitch, single crochet, and then you're going to insert your hook right from where we started from. Just insert your hook right there because you won't be able to see the actual stitch. So just insert your hook there and make a slip stitch and then chain one. Get your scissors and cut. Hold tight. Get your darning needle and make sure to weave in your tails. So after attaching the pocket, this is what you should have. This is how it should look, okay? The next thing we're going to do is join the shoulder part, and then we're going to join the sides, okay? So now we're going to get our sleeves, and then we're going to put them to the side like so, making sure that you align it very well from where the shoulder part is to the center of your sleeve. Okay. So you may need to count your stitches, count your rows, sorry, count the rows so you know where the center is. Okay. So here I have attached stitch markers just to make sure that it does not move. It stays in place as I join. So you're going to make a slip knot. And then from the right side of our sweater, that is where we're going to join the sleeves from. So insert your hook through both sides, the body of the sweater and through the sleeve, and then attach the yarn that you're using. Chain one, and then you're going to chain one, and in that same space, you're going to make a single crochet, making sure you go through the body and the sleeve. There are no extra stitches here, so we're going through the side rows for both sides. So everything should be aligned very well at this point. Okay, so you go through every side row with a single crochet until you get to the last stitch marker. It's that simple, guys. I have made it to the end of the sleeve. This is my last row. I'm going to insert my hook and end with a slip stitch, then chain one, get my scissors and cut off the yarn. Just like that, and then pull through and pull through and pull tight. All right, now we're going to repeat the same exact thing we just did here on the other side of the sleeve. We're almost done, guys. All right, as you can see, we have already attached our sleeves and we are now going to move on to the sides of our sweater. And that's pretty simple. It's basically the same thing we've been doing, okay? So we're going to fold it like so and make sure that both sides, the back panel, the sleeves are all very well aligned. And then we're going to join from the bottom of the sweater all the way up to the sleeve. So make a slip knot. And again, from the first two side rows of the sweater, we're going to insert our hook and pull through the yarn, chain one, and then go back in that same space with a single crochet. Insert your hook in the next side row for both sides and make a single crochet. And you're going to make one single crochet in every side row for both sides until you get to the sleeve part of this project. Once you make it to the sleeve, you're just going to align the stitches together because at this point we don't have the side rows, we have the actual stitches. So make sure that you go through both stitches at the same time and make a single crochet in every stitch. This side was a bit tight because one side has the beginning chain that we started with, so that's why it was a bit tight, but I still managed to go through it. So I'm just going to keep going with my single crochets until I get to the ribbing part. Once you get to the ribbing, you just basically do the same thing. Go through the first stitch or the side row of that first stitch and make a single crochet. And once you get here to the end, you make your single crochet. After that, we're going to go on top of these single crochets that we made, and we are just going to place there a single crochet. You don't have to go on top of the stitch. We are inserting our hook in the same stitches that the single crochets are, just like that. And we're going to do this all the way around. I have one stitch left here to complete this sleeve. So I'm making my single crochet and then I'm going to slip stitch right on top of the first stitch, like so. Chain one, get the scissors and cut. Then pull tight. This is how it should look. Get your darning needle and weave in that extra strand that we have left. So I'll go through it real quick and then we can head over to the next. All right, the sleeve is done and this is how it looks. And we are now going to repeat what we have done here on the other side of the sleeve. But this time we're going to start from the ribbing part of the sleeve all the way down to the bottom of the sweater. Okay, so we're going to start from this side. So get the yarn and make a slip knot. All right, insert your hook through that first stitch and pull through the loop. Chain one again, and in that same space, make a single crochet in the next stitch. Again, we're inserting our hook in the same stitches that we have the single crochet. So we're going over the single crochets. So we're going to keep going, making one single crochet in every stitch until you get to the other side of the sweater, right? At the bottom of the sweater, okay? So once you get to the end, obviously, you'll be joining the sleeve together. All right, here we are. And we are now going to work over the ribbing part all the way down to the sleeve and to the side of the sweater. Okay, so make a single crochet in the next side row, single crochet in the next side row, And you're going to repeat this. I'll meet you at the bottom of the sweater so I can show you the final thing that we have to do. And then we're done here. All right, so once you work your way all the way down, this here is my last row. Just like we've been doing, we're going to work a round of single crochet around this bottom part of the sweater. So these were the foundation chains. They are kind of hard, so I'm inserting my hook between the stitches to make it easier for me. Okay, so I'm inserting my hook between every stitch, making a single crochet, and I'm going to do this all the way around. Working towards the end here. Once you make it to the end, you're just going to slip stitch on top of the first stitch that we have on the other side, then chain one. Get your scissors and cut the yarn. I always leave a long tail so I can weave it in later. Okay, so pull that through and pull tight. Get your darning needle and weave in the strand and all the extra strands that we have that you may have lying around. And guys, that's all I had for you today. I hope you have enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section. If you've watched to the end, I thank you so much and stay tuned for more tutorials. Bye bye.